This is Daina Angel with the Worship Study Activation inspired by the book The Worshiping Bride by Wesley Amos. As I read the epilogue in chapter 1, The Worshiping Bride, the Lord impressed upon me three concepts: kingship, offering, and worship. He then led me to the scripture, 1 Chronicles chapter 16, verse 29, which says, "Give unto the Lord the glory due his name. Bring an offering and come before him. Worship the Lord in the beauty of holiness." As I continue to reflect on this study, I pictured a three-part activation to the song Worthy by Bethany Praise Center. In part one, I would first set up a throne at Upstage Center on the platform or the pulpit of the church with a purple fabric draped over it and with a royal robe at the right side. This would represent kingship or the majesty of God. Next, I will place a group of 20 to 22 worshipers in a single file line at the end of the middle aisle. Then, I will give one majestic crown to the lead person, one scepter to the second person, and one gold crown each to the rest. Then, I would have them to walk down the middle aisle in a procession to the platform, bringing their offerings, which would be represented by the majestic crown, the scepter, and the gold crowns, to the King, the Lord our God. I would have the first four people to bow and to place their items in the designated area on or around the throne. The remaining people would bow and place their items along the platform, in front of the throne. The bow represents reverence, an acknowledgement of God's majesty, giving him glory. In part two, as the music continues to play, I will divide the worshipers into two groups. Group A would consist of 7 people, children and adults. I will give 2 adults a white wing flag representing the holiness of God. I will give streamers and various tabrets to the 4 children, representing the worshipers of God coming before him as a little child, because he deserves all of our praise and is seeking true worshipers. I will give the remaining adult a glorifier flag, representing the cleansing and burning away of all that is not of God as we come into his presence. Then I would have them to spread out in the above order at the front of the sanctuary, waving their praise suits to set the atmosphere. In part 3, as the music continues to play, I will have Group B, consisting of 15 people, youth and adult, to follow one lead person and dance up and down the side and middle aisles of the church until the end of the song. Then, they will end up spread out across the front of the sanctuary by the altar. This will represent the bride of Christ answering the call to worship God in spirit and truth, offering herself as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to God. For this is her reasonable service of worship.